planning for the best views possible. But we both end up getting in a tangled mess.
He's getting annoyed with his ball of string.
So I wanted to see the lowest point of the house.
Starting our biggest build yet.
Hi, welcome back to the channel. Well, we got back from Monte Carlo last week. Fantastic time. Both of us enjoyed it. Really good fun. But it's back to reality now, and we've got to get the planning permission on this house done. So that means we have to lay out the house in the best position on the actual plot.
Yeah, we're trying to make the best advantage of the views behind us so that each room has a fantastic view, and that's the aim of today.
Now, we do have to work within the constraints of the local planning authority, and we've just been to their offices in the local town, and they suggested we need to be around 3 meters from the boundary line. So the boundary line is a bit fuzzy on our property because we have got the connecting plot as well, but we don't physically own it. We have it gifted to us. It's a lifetime lease. We're going to get the house positioned as best we can to get those views behind us, and we still need around 2 meters because we want to get lawn mowers and all the rest of it round, but it's best not to ask permission. It's best to be told to change it later. That is going to be our philosophy this time. So we're going to get on with those boundary lines now and then lay out the house. Oh, I forgot my scissors, so I'll just have to use my grinder. Right. Okay. Now, here it is here.
We found it.
Yeah, so this here, these red markers with the yellow poles, it's snapped off. This is what the geographist or the surveyor puts in, and they're called boundary bournes. So these red things are our exact boundary. We have them on every single corner of the property. So I'm just going to put a string around this end, walk all the way to the other end of the property, and run the line so we've got a datum line. Okay. I'm going to use this string now as a datum line, and I'm going to measure out perpendicularly for the west side of the house. That is then parallel to this boundary line. I'm just going to use these fence post sticks, so when I do pull on the string, it doesn't go 12 inches that way. That's the idea, so that doesn't pull away.
So Ian's fixing the string now to the top bourne, ready to throw me the string to continue down to the next one.
Yeah.
Good throw. Some things never change.
So I'm going to use some rebar, which is actually some of our electric fence posts from the field. Cut them into small sections and use these as pins, because I found the posts that we're using are going off slightly when I'm knocking them in because they're not at an exact point. I will remove these afterwards because they are a bit dangerous if anybody falls on them. but it's just basically to get our datum lines so we can start laying out the floor plan.
Done our string line from 2 boundary points, and this boundary is on the top of the bank, and Ian's just finished chopping all his rebar up, so we're going to use that as stakes to attach the string to try and get a true line as best as we can to mark this one boundary as we explained earlier.
Oh, little man. So now we've got all the boundaries in place with the strings and the datum on the top side of the property. So now it looks exactly like this diagram. So we're going to now measure from the boundaries to try and position the house in relation to the views of the cathedral and the Col de Tourmalet. We want to look out the lounge directly at those two. So if it means moving it a couple of meters to the right, hopefully we'll be able to do that without encroaching onto the boundary line. We did a rough sort of layout a couple of weeks ago before we went off to Monte Carlo, just because of the excitement. It was our land, so we trimmed it all with a mower and put these posts in. I'm just going to measure them up now to see how far away we were when we did it. So that is 3.70 meters from the boundary. So we can push this to the right quite a lot.
Yeah, we can, and that will give us the views from behind that we're after.
Ian's getting annoyed with his ball of string. He's losing his cool. He'll edit this out.
Now he's moaning he's got stung by nettles.
In the middle of winter.
The video of moans.
So we've got all the rough planning done, and this gives me 2.20 meters this side. So with a bit of cladding and various bits and bobs, 2 meters. So I think we're going to work off that. We've actually moved the house. Three meters across, which is perfect now. So the lounge windows here and here are going to have a direct view across to the cathedral and the mountain. So that's exactly what we wanted.
We've marked it all out now, and I just want to check from the decking coming out the kitchen. Yep, I can see my view, St Bertrand and the Tourmalet, nice and clear. So that means everywhere in the main living part of the house, we will have that view looking out over to the Snowy Cap Mountains and St Bertrand. So I'm super happy now. So I think we've moved the house, is it 3 metres further along?
North.
3 metres north. Yeah.
So that gives us a smaller garden in the front. Although we say a smaller garden, that boundary across the diagonal boundary is just an imaginary boundary because we also have that part of the land. It's just that we don't, as I said earlier, own it on paper. It's leased for our lifetime free. But because it's not in our name, we have to assume it's somebody else's, and all our building regulations have to use that imaginary boundary as the datum line. So
it's all governed from that line.
We're not actually going to put any fencing in there or anything like that. It just means our septic tank, all the sanitary stuff, the leach field has to be a certain distance away from that line, as well as the house. So I think we're okay. We're 2 metres from the house corner, the closest point. The leach field and everything will be at least 3 metres away, which is all down to code. We should be good.
You cheeky girls. Have you laid me anything, eh? No, we're not. 2? Come on, girlies. Well, just the 2 today. But saying that, these little chickens have been rescues. They've laid all winter. Yesterday we got 5. Today we've got 2. They're a bit sporadic, but we've been getting minimum 2 to 3 eggs every day all through winter. First time Ian drives the car down. Car's in the kitchen.
I always take the batteries out every time I use it, just to make sure they don't leak or I've left it switched on. A little tip from Skill Builder. $50.
150.
That's handy. So this is the corner of the garage. So I wanted to see the lowest point of the house to what this is to ground level. There, well, near enough. So there. So ground level is 24 centimeters. So the corner of the garage, that's 24 centimeters above ground level. That's 1.5 above ground level, so that's 1 meter 26 higher at this point to the lowest point of the house.
Where we've marked the corners of the house, Ian's now, with a very long piece of string, marking all the boundaries just so we've got a visual of the perimeter of the house.
Now Julie's following the string with another pro tip from the Perkins brothers. Use a bag of plain flour to get the
self-raising, I'm not making a cake.
To get the main boundary of the house. Well, we haven't been in the Polytunnel for a couple of weeks, so I'm just getting all the watering done. We've just got a few lettuces left, which have gone all the way through winter. A bit of frost has got some of it, but they're all good. So I'm just going to keep watering them, and then soon we'll be preparing all this for the spring planting. Okay, the first step of our big build, the setting out. I know we've done it a couple of times, but this is near enough now, the final location. We brought it closer to the bank this way and forward to the north, and that's given us 3 meters extra on the south side of the garden, which is great.
We've been working to the constraints of our imaginary boundary. As you know, we've got that extra piece of land, but just purely for planning and planning constraints, we're just making sure that we're staying this side of the line.
Because the planning office don't know we have that on a lifetime lease, you see, so we do have to work to those constraints. But I think, hopefully, fingers crossed, we've given enough distance between us and the imaginary boundary. We've got plenty of room in the north face, the front garden, for all our septic tanks and...
that's what's behind us now.
Yeah, the leach field and all of that. The only thing we've got to do, and I'm going to leave this one up to Julie, we've got to take a little bit more out of this bank, probably 1 meter, 3 foot, and put in a small retaining wall. And behind that we're going to have all the French drainage anyway. We've got to have as much drainage as we possibly can this side of the house, because this is all raised bank and I don't want anything getting into the walls.
Yeah, that'll keep me busy with my shovel.
Yeah, Julie's quite good with a spade and a pickaxe. So as we said all the way through this project, we are going to do every single part of this build. That means digging out the foundations, everything. So we're not going to rely on anybody else.
No. The only thing where it will take somebody else coming along, and that is physically putting the containers onto the actual foundation. That's the only bit we can't physically do.
We did do a couple of years of CrossFit, but even that lifting
I don't think my CrossFit's ready for this.
Lifting a 40-foot container is a bit beyond us, so we will have those craned up. So that's as I said, the first stage done, setting out and levels. We haven't done all the levels perfectly, but we've got a good idea now, so I can get back on my drawings and get those sent off to the planners.
And while we're doing this, our little no-dig dogs, we have Floki digging behind us. It's just, I'm going to get them little t-shirts made, no-dig Floki.
So thanks for watching again. Please hit that subscribe.
Yeah.
They're rising slowly now, so it's great to see that. Hit the like button, because that really helps the algorithms on YouTube. and just follow this journey now. We're going for it.
Yeah.
So we'll see you in the next video.
We're on a roll. See you in the next one.
Bye for now.
Oh, look at it. Digging in the background. Come here, you little man. You're supposed to be my good sausage. Your sister's the naughty one.